All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Guys, so the name of the video here is A Tough Spot. Trans activists erupt in protest ahead of a WNBA game. Let's counter it, guys.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, Clay, because we're about to get into it. I want to get your take on the latest WNBA drama. So how sad is this? Security is reportedly tight ahead of tonight's Fever Sky game in Chicago after the chaos outside the Fever Liberty game in Brooklyn last night. Take a look.
Trans lives matter! 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 Trans lives matter!
But they have a sign that says right-wing troll. Let me guess why. Because someone that is there is basically attempting to stand up for the rights of women, guys.
So Outkick is reporting that Liberty displayed messages welcoming transgender fans inside, but a paid message thanking XXXY Athletics founder Jennifer Say never made it to the scoreboard. I wonder how that happened. Well, the team edited it without her consent and refunded her money when she objected. Liberty says scoreboard messages must be, quote, positive and celebratory. Fox Digital reached out for a comment. We have not received a response. There's so many.
Guys, I mean, listen, if you're paying for a service here to basically have your advertisement shown, and then the company themselves decides to change your advertisement without you knowing it here. All right, specifically a company that has such money issues consistently here, right? Why would you do that to a paying client?
Places we could go with this, Clay, but I think I'd like to start with this. We have to have heightened security outside of WNBA games due to the fact that you've got these screaming banshees saying trans lives matter, but then being very aggressive towards people who just say, I want women to have their own sports.
Yeah, look, this is a broken brain situation. Ultimately, here is the question, right? If you want to pick a side, right, would you rather be on the side of a woman who should have the right to play women's sports and enter women's locker rooms without men pretending to be women in that locker room? Or do you want to allow men identifying as women to take over women's places in women's sports? This is one of the craziest stories that I can possibly imagine that is not going to go away. And what it really boils down to is the question of what is a woman, right? And the WNBA, which is the Women's National Basketball Association, cannot allow itself to define what a woman is. And this is really important. I hope they clip it. I hope they share it. For all of these women out there that claim to be feminists, why are you so quick to give up womanhood to men pretending to be women? To me, maybe I'm wrong on this, the most misogynistic thing that a man could do is pretend to be a woman and take away a woman's spot on a sporting event, or even take away a women's championship like we saw Leah Thomas do.
Guys, understand when it comes down to it, I think at the end of the day, I think it's more so about absolutely destroying the idea of masculinity, because if you really put it side by side here, you're going to need men that are going to be immediately, let's say, less masculine, number one here, that are going to side with someone specifically that is, less physically strong. Let's just say this here. All right. So the easiest way to kind of, I guess, come up in life for the most part is to destroy the thing that you physically can't beat. Right. So if you make it weaker, if that makes any sense here, like if you make it, more interested in following whatever trend you're attempting to push here, right? Make it side with you by default. Now you have, for the most part, an army, all right, of used to be men for the most part here, that can fight for your cause. I think that's just kind of what this is here, because again, guys, this type of ideology, this type of thing here, would not even be something that is, I don't know, pushed as much specifically if it wasn't backed by the actual physical force of a man. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. So if you make it so men are immediately on your side on everything, okay, they're going to fight for it. Because again, if men decided today specifically to no longer partake in any of the TikTok ideology, the feminist ideology specifically in the United States of America, if they decided that they no longer wanted to partake in it, there's nothing the other side could basically do here to stop that from happening. Right? Not physically. And I think that's kind of the point here. So if you get more men to no longer be men, they'll side with you in your causes. and then you still have the force of a man. I think that's how insidious it is. But let's continue.
Clay, it's Alicia Acuna here. I'm curious about the future of the WNBA. If they can't figure out how to get a handle on this and move forward without needing, as Tommy mentioned, extra security outside their games, all of this messaging going on inside, and people pushing back, the league itself pushing back on those who come forward and say, but boys shouldn't play in girls' sports. Where does this go from here?
Well, they're in a tough spot because two men who were former first-round NBA draft picks, Royce White and Enes Kanter Freedom, have already declared for the WNBA draft in April of next year. If woman is not going to be defined to exclude men, which it appears they're not willing to do, then the WNBA will cease to exist. It'll just become the NBA G League. All the players would become male because the women now make a lot of money.
All right. Clay Travis, well, if they do get into the WNBA, I think there's a team called the Nashville Balls in the works that might want to recruit them.
We're there.
And have quite the team. All right, Clay Travis,
Right.
thank you so much for joining us tonight.
The Nashville Balls.
Thank you. Most inclusive team ever, Joey.
That's a wild one.
We'll look forward to it. Tommy, in all seriousness, though, Clay kind of hits the nail on the head. He's kind of known for that, not mincing his words. It's not very feminist to want men to come in and take opportunities away from women.
I mean, that's the definition of the patriarchy, right?
Yeah.
When you're saying, oh, I know that you had that thing, but we think we're better at it, so we're going to wear a dress and some lip gloss, and we're now going to take your spots, and also we're going to barge into your bathrooms and your locker rooms because you don't deserve those spaces just for you either. I mean, that is the patriarchy, which I was told that the feminists really wanted to destroy. So this is also nonsensical. I will say, I think President Trump needs to go to a WNBA game. I think just do it. He's been to all these other events. Why not go to a WNBA game at this point, right?
I'd agree.
I mean, really shake things up. I think, Rich, wouldn't that be something to behold?
He might get a different reception than he did at the race
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
But
He wouldn't care.
yeah, probably not.
You know, that is one thing about President Trump. He has been willing to go whether the crowd's friendly or not, because you do hear him booed sometimes, depending on the venue. But, you know, just to take this conversation back to President Trump, that is the sleeper issue from 2024. That was the sleeper issue that became the big issue. The now, I guess, infamous on one side, famous on the other ad of she's for they, them, and I'm for you. That was a big difference maker.
And it's still here, even after what happened with Democrats in 2024. I'd like to address the person who was saying trans lives matter, trans lives matter. That is not what this is about.
Right, it's not.
This isn't about whether or not trans lives matter. It is about whether women can play in women's sports and feel safe, and it's a fair game that they play against other women. The second I heard that, I was like, that's not what we're talking about.
That's their game. That's their playbook. They move the goalposts around. And that's what they call it, this big tent party, to the point that the alphabet army is starting to drop the T out of it because they're like, you're not really advocating for what we are. All right.
Yeah, that seems to be it here, guys. I mean, like, listen, I've had people kind of within my life that have been on all types of spectrums here. People are generally going to be decent humans once you meet them. I'm not talking about the internet, because the internet has the ability to basically lie to you. All right. I mean, people seriously believe that groups are larger than they actually are when they're nothing more specifically than 9% of the population. All right. So that does not mean that the other 91% of the population needs to completely adhere to the 9%. Right. But that is generally the overall ideology that is consistently pushed on the left here. This is not something that's conducive by any means here, guys. All right. Not if you ever want to win again for anything, because I don't know how you're going to win pushing like a 9% ideology to the country. Like, this is not even an 80-20 issue here. Understand this here. This is not even, it's smaller than that, guys. But if you actually were to listen to the left immediately, you will think every single person, for the most part, within the United States of America is a part of this community here. Again, if you're a part of the community, no problem. Again, live your life here. But once you start the process of pushing your stuff onto everyone else, that's where I generally have an issue here, guys. All right. But listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime, guys, I'll go ahead and catch you guys later. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies. And I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings. And we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry, right? Listen, like and subscribe.